welcome to another episode of Sports Gala Show.
My guest for today is such an inspiration. She was told that she was too old to compete in her sport, and she went on to quit a job, train full-time, and she even retired from her sport once. And she made a comeback, and now a SEA Games gold medalist. She's none other than Michelle Sng, our national high jumper.
So, how did it feel winning the gold medal?
It's great. I mean, it's because it took me a really long time to sort of get to where I got.
Yeah.
Also because I'm 30 this year, you know, most people at 30 in Singapore would have already retired, perhaps, you know, have gotten married, have kids maybe. And also because I actually came out of retirement. And so, you know, making that comeback and, you know, after spending these couple of years in getting to the SEA Games and winning the gold medals really just, you know, has been a crazy journey for me.
Yeah, and for this SEA Games, which SEA Games was this for you?
This is my second actually.
Your second?
Yeah, so I made my debut in Singapore 2015 SEA Games.
Oh, I see. And how did you do in 2015?
I got the bronze medal in 2015.
Okay, and how hard did you have to work between that bronze to get the gold?
Pretty hard. I mean, like last year I decided to quit my job and then uproot and move to Australia to train full time.
Yeah, wow.
And so it was the first time I, you know, actually went full on, and I guess it paid off.
So do you think that like full-time training actually makes a difference?
Well, definitely. I think in terms of having enough rest,
Yeah.
having a peace of mind, not having to worry about rushing for appointments, you know, rushing to finish things, I think that really helped a lot.
I see.
You know, I think, you know, if you're disciplined enough, you can put in the same number of training sessions with a full-time job, but you get the same amount of rest.
Yeah, that's
And,
true.
you know, recovery is so important.
Yeah, and that's what I found out when I went full-time training as well.
Yeah.
But it's actually hard for us to sit down and do nothing but just rest.
I think it's to do with being a Singaporean, because when you're not doing anything, you feel like you're not utilizing your time, and that you're not being efficient, you're wasting like resources, you know, by doing nothing. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. So how did this high jump thing come about? When did it start?
When I was in secondary one, I was the class, I was the sports captain, and we had inter-class sports day. So, you know, I told my class, look, we're going to send a full squad, we're going to get as many points as possible, and we're going to win this class championship. Yeah, and my class wasn't very athletic, but they all just like, alright. So I put this sign-up sheet and I was like, okay, sign up. And then when I went to get the sign-up sheet, all the events were filled up, except for high jump. There were no sign-ups for high jump because, well, it's quite daunting.
It doesn't come naturally.
It's not natural, you know. And with the bar, it can be quite scary, you know, thinking of landing on it. And so I said, alright, you know what, I'll do it.
Wow.
So I went on the internet and I went to look for, you know, information on how to do high jump. Back in the day, I don't think it was even Google, it wasn't even Yahoo, it was like Bing or something.
Or Asta Vista,
something like that. No YouTube. So it was just stick figures, diagrams. So I printed them out, you know, looked through them, and then I tried it out a couple of times in the school gymnasium.
Oh, okay.
Because there were crash mats there, and there was a mini setup. And then I participated in sports day.
And how do you do?
I broke the school record.
No way!
And so we didn't have a track team in school because, you know, our focus was a lot more on the arts. And so my teacher said, actually, you know what, I think we can send you for national schools. And I said, you know, why not? Let's just go.
Yeah, wow.
So my mom took me to the national schools competition. I turned up that day and I just competed.
And how about that? Now you're representing Singapore.
Yeah.
Winning medals. That's quite amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been quite fortunate.
Yeah, and it turned out that you have like sort of the perfect physique for high jumper, because from what you told me previously, you have to have a certain physique to do this sport, right?
Well, you know, obviously if you are tall and strong in certain ways, I think it definitely helps with the sport. But I think also I had a very good foundation. I started dancing when I was 2.5. I did gymnastics for 7 years. I swam a little bit, I played netball, so all that gave me a good foundation, and when I decided to do high jump, you know, it sort of all came together quite well for me.
What's the best part about being a high jumper?
It's a very interesting, you know, interesting event to do. It's beautiful to watch when executed well, and to push yourself to work your body against gravity. It's very, it's just very exciting. It intrigues me, it excites me, even
That's
that 1
amazing.
centimeter.
Yeah.
It's just a completely different event out there.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just quite fortunate that I managed to find it
Yeah.
and be pretty decent, pretty good at it, I guess.
Yeah. Tell me something that many people don't know about your sport.
High jumpers don't like running.
Really? So you hate running?
I hate running, but I think majority of us are not like big fans of running. Like coach says like 150 times 4, it's like the end of the world
wow.
for us.
I did not know that.
We're not that big fans of running.
So you did mention before that you're 30 this year. Does it affect in any way in high jumping?
I don't think so. Well, last year's Olympic championship won it, which was 37.
No way!
37.
Wow.
So, I got a couple more good years in me.
So age is definitely not a factor.
To be very candid and very honest, as a female athlete, you have to think about your childbearing years as well.
That is true.
Which was something that sort of never hit me till I think this year.
Yeah.
Because previously, when people talk to you about sacrifices you have to make, especially when you're really young, it's about time with your friends, you don't get to like go out as much. And then as the years went by, was like, okay, your career. And then this year I got a lot of have you thought of freezing your eggs? They're concerned about my childbearing years, and I was like, oh, I didn't quite think of that, but now it hit me because I guess the big 3-0 and everyone's thinking about the next step.
Oh no, you're worrying me right now. But how do you handle those comments?
I believe that everything happens at the right time and at the right place for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And I just believe that that's the plan for me, and if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm not so concerned about it. I joke a lot about it.
Yeah.
I'm not like overly concerned yet. I guess.
And don't pressure yourself. So going back to the part where you mentioned you did take a break, correct? Why did you decide to take a break? You decided to retire, is that right?
It was not a break. I retired.
Yeah. So why did you decide to retire and why the comeback?
I sustained an injury in 2007. So a stress fracture to my left shin. After undergoing surgery, I was still not quite fully recovered, at least psychologically. And then by 2011, I was not in the right state to compete, to jump anymore, and wasn't making me happy anymore. So it was with a really heavy heart, which led me to leave the sport.
Yeah.
And I told myself, I had a good run, did quite a couple of good things in the sport, and it's time to move on to the next chapter of my life. And so I quit and I left.
So what made you come back?
After the 2013 SEA Games, my former coach gave me a ring and she said, let's have a chat. Are you back in Singapore? Because I was traveling, and I said, let's have a chat. And she said, the SEA Games just ended, we'll be hosting the next one. I had no clue about it because I just sort of removed myself from like the entire sporting scene. Would you consider making a comeback to jump for Singapore? And I said no. I was like, no thank you, I'm done with this. Moving on. But I said, I wouldn't mind coming down to assist you and to mentor the kids, because that was what I was doing even when I was training with her previously.
Yeah.
And I still love the sport, and I want to give back in my own way. So not by representing the country, but by helping the younger generation.
Yeah.
So I came back, helped out, exercised a little bit. If you want to do demo, you kind of need to be able to do it. And I hadn't jumped in like 3 years, so it was just like simple basic drills.
Yeah.
And I was asked to consider making the comeback.
Yeah.
And I said, just let me think about it. I'll think about it. Yeah.
And then you just one day decided, or was it a gradual thing?
It was a very, very gradual thing. I started training with my former training mates because they were all still in the sport. I cried a lot.
Yeah.
Just always crying.
Don't we all? But people don't know.
I was always crying and just asking myself, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like I was living a really great life. I was
Yeah.
happy. But my training partner would always say, don't decide right now. Let's just finish the workout for this entire week, and then when you're done with the end of the week, make a decision then. And so it was always trying to last the week.
Yeah.
And the end of the week was like, I made it through the week. Let's just go for one more.
Yeah.
One more. And so that one more led me to
Yeah.
do this,
Yeah.
come back to the sport.
And was it worth it coming back?
Well, I can say it's worth it because now that I got the medal, I don't know if I can say it was worth it if I sort of like.
So that was your goal?
No, it was really just, you know, to sort of come back, serve the nation, you know, compete at the 2015 SEA Games, and then go back to like regular life. It's not a very traditional choice in Singapore, especially.
No, it's not, yeah. But sometimes I feel that having that rest or that period of taking a break is important.
Yes, and I think the reason why I'm still here today was because I had that break. So a lot of like the athletes who are my age, you know, who are doing really well too, were still doing the sport when I left. And then, you know, now they've moved on to a different phase in life, you know, like focusing on their career, on their families. So I really think that that break did help. I mean, I can say it's a break now because I did make a comeback. And, you know, I really still, you know, believe that everything happens at the right time.
Yeah, what's the next goal?
Well, for 2018, there's the Asian Games. Apart from looking at, you know, major competitions every year, I always try to think about how the next step for me should be doing a personal best because I hold a national record, and so every time I do a personal best, it will be to break the national record. And with doing a personal best comes the national record, and with the national record will come qualifications. With qualifying for the games will give me a chance to make it to the podium. So, you know, I think instead of thinking of right at the end being up on the podium, which sometimes will seem really, really far and unattainable, I think of it as like, you know, doing a personal best, and then the national record will come, and then the qualifying will come, because, well, you know, if I jump a national record and it's not good enough to qualify me for a games, then I need to go back and train harder and jump even higher, rather than think about the qualification and the podium finish in the end.
We're going to move on to talking about sponsorship now.
Okay.
So what's your story, and who are the companies who come forward and support you in your journey?
My first sponsor actually came about when I was 19, so that was a long time ago, before sponsorships were quite a big thing in the sporting scene in Singapore. I was in my first year, well, my first term of university then, and because of some financial struggles at home, I was concerned, you know, that I wouldn't have enough money to make it through the rest of university. Well, I have this friend who was a national sailor, and one of our conversations, he mentioned that the sailors in Australia will seek out their own sponsorship because there's so many good sailors and the federation is not able to support everyone. I gave it a lot of thought, and I said, you know, maybe I could do something like that. And so I did up my profile, and I decided to seek out, you know, sponsorship for my education, which is a little bit strange because, you know, you would think that companies would say, all right, you know, I'll support you in your sport. But mine was, all right, will you support me for school so that I can, you know, not worry about it and I can train. And I was very fortunate that the CEO of Akira, who was a former national track and field athlete, came forward to help me. So that was my first sponsorship actually.
So you approached him, or you just put it online that you needed help and he approached you?
I drew out a list of companies which I thought, you know, could possibly, you know, help me, and then I sent out my profile.
Oh wow.
And then after making my comeback, after the first year or so, I started to approach companies to ask for help. Eventually, when I started doing better, it would be the other way around. The companies would come to me and ask, oh, you know, what do you need? How can we help you? How can we work together?
What about now currently?
Currently, I'm with Adidas. I've been with them for 2 years now. What happened was the PR company which handles the Adidas account approached me, and I decided to work with them.
And last question of the day. So what's the best advice you've ever received?
There's no shame in trying. For a lot of people, victory means making up to the podium. You know, for some people it means maybe only getting the gold medal, not even making up the podium. But there's victory in trying, because there are so many people out there who live life so carefully, not daring to do something a little bit more because they're very comfortable. They may not be happy with where they are, but they're comfortable. And I think, you know, trying something is quite brave, trying something different. You know, there is a lot of victory in doing that, and even if you don't succeed in whatever terms you set it out to be, there is no shame in not succeeding in your eyes, but the fact that you've already tried means that you have achieved a lot.
So I've learned a lot from our conversation today with Michelle Sng. So I hope that you guys picked up a thing or two which can be useful not only in your sporting career but also your life as well. I will be tagging Michelle Sng's social media platforms in the description below. And if you have any comments, if you want to get to know her a bit more, ask her any questions about high jumping, you can leave in the comment below and I'll link the questions back to her. So thank you so much and I hope you enjoyed the show. Bye!